Bienvenidos to Season 3 of Humans in Accounting podcast. In a world full of AI, automation, and endless workflows, we pause for a moment to focus on the real humans behind the numbers. Founders, leaders, humans share their journey, what drives them, and the moments that shape their path. Because behind every balance sheet, there's always a story worth telling. Humans in Accounting is brought to you by South Offices. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humans in Accounting, where leaders, humans, share their story behind the spreadsheets. As you should know by now, my name is Alex Roman, and this podcast is brought to you by South Offices, connecting accounting talent across borders. Today's guest, I'm super happy to have you, Chase Damiano. That's how you pronounce your last name, right?
You got it, Damiano.
Chase Damiano, founder and CEO at Human at Scale. Chase, I'm super happy to have you here and at Humans in Accounting. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great today. And yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Alex.
It's great. We physically met. I think I was maybe having a beer. Was it? And it's definitely in Vegas. I don't remember. Was it something off Intuit? The last.
Yeah, and it was a big throwdown there at Intuit Connect. So I'm surprised. Maybe not remembering every detail.
Yeah, no, but I remembered that was the first time, right? We met, or we met before.
That's right. I think we met in person for the first time at Intuit Connect last year, 2025.
Right. 2025. Will you be going this year as well?
I think so. I had such a great time, and I would love to go back. So I'm planning on go back.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna be there as well. And there's 94% chance I'll be there. So yeah, we can see each other again. That's great. But that was the first time I remember we had this conversation. The music was a little bit loud, but we stood there having a cool conversation. And since then we have been interacting. And now you're here at this podcast, Humans in Accounting. You're the first firm owner that has a firm that has a human in the name. So that's definitely a coincidence. I'm happy that we're doing this episode together.
And somehow we ended up with very similar color schemes and brand for Humans in Accounting and Human at Scale, which is pretty amazing.
It is, and it's not that I stole that from you or you did from us. It's
Right.
just a coincidence, and here we are talking. Chase, let's. I'm super interested. Maybe if you could tell us a little bit about your background. I know that you have been doing that you founded Human at Scale now for a few years. But if you can tell me how you started, I'm super interested in knowing what happened. Was it something that you always wanted just to do? You had the opportunity, you had that first client that told you, hey, Chase, help me out with this. I want to know that story of the very first steps that you made with the human scale.
Yeah, definitely. So take us back to 2014. So I had just left Accenture, where I got a chance to work on some emerging technology and innovation there, which was pretty cool. But corporate life wasn't for me. And I met a buddy who we started a business together called Commonwealth Joe Coffee Roasters. And it started as a mother-son coffee roasting operation to turn into a large-scale DC presence, and then regional and then national. And what we did was I served as chief operating officer, and what we did was nitro cold brew coffee at scale, specifically targeting offices. Rolling around to 2019, we had seen some success. I did not feel aligned with continuing the mission there at Commonwealth Joe, so I chose to leave. And I spent that summer 2019 figuring out, okay, what do I really want to do? And so I started a solo consulting and coaching practice. I started with a handful of clients and I just started getting in the weeds with my clients to figure out their operations, help develop stronger leadership for the executives as a part of it, and then in helping to install the middle layer around management, so installing management best practices. And that launched about 5 or 6 years worth of executive coaching and consulting. And when I towards the end of 2024, I took a reflection of how far things had come and how many clients I worked with and where are they coming from. And I saw just so many folks were coming from financial services. So we would serve accounting firms, CFO firms, and the like. And I felt that there was something more there. And firm owners would ask me, is like, hey, coaching is great and we love the coaching element, but what about actually coming in to do the work? What about the execution standpoint?
Right.
So I had a moment of insight. I spoke with a lot more accounting firm owners, a lot more folks in the profession, and made a decision to just pivot and go all in. So in January, it was pretty much January 1st of 2025, I pivoted Human at Scale to be the strategic operations agency for accounting firms, and it's been ripping since then.
Right. But Jason, I'm curious, like, was it something that you were, I mean, this was just luck that you realized that you had more clients that came from this specific industry? Was it because you were looking for clients of the accounting industry? Was it because, was there a reason or not? Maybe not.
Sure. Well, a few factors were occurring at once. Towards the
Okay.
end of 2024, I noticed that coaching work was slowing down a lot. People were tightening budgets, and why they were tightening budgets was, hey, again, I just want someone to come in and do the work. I want to save some budget, not for coaching, but making a new hire. And by chance and by happenstance, we also I also noticed that a lot of the best results that we had achieved from a coaching and consulting standpoint happened to be in financial services, happened to
Mm.
be accounting firms as well. Having some radical success stories like, doubling 7 figures worth of revenue within 12 to 18 months. Great stories were coming out of our work. And that just got me curious. Okay, what if there's something more that we can do, which just allowed me to learn and dig in further.
Okay. Perfect. And let me ask you this question. I mean, I'm super. I think it's strategic just to focus and have a niche. This is actually what we do and South offices as well. We work mainly with accounting firms. But what happens? Do you have nowadays someone who is reaching out to you? Maybe they're not from services or the accounting, and they say, "Hey, look, I'm still having this issues at my firm, and I do something else. Can you help me out?" Does that happen to you? And if it does, do you work with them or not?
Uh, I get asked this all the time. Just last week, a firm owner, we had a conversation. It was me, the firm owner, their COO, and myself having a conversation with me about, hey, we actually have one of our clients that needs to do things like integrate their POS system, have a record of truth on their data, possibly put in an ERP. Can you and your team come in and do that for this restaurant group? And
Right.
I said we can't do it. Like we can technically do it, but our focus is solely on if you're accounting, if you're tax, if you're finance, we want to work with you, but no one else.
Well, I'm surprised. I thought of it that the answer was going to say, yeah, maybe we do some exceptions, but that's great. That's great that you can tell no without any problem and say, hey, look, this is actually the companies that I want to work. So that's awesome. That's great. What are the what one or two things that you realized since January 2025 while working with accounting firms that you like or that you enjoy the most? I'm sure that there are things that you like specifically of this industry. What are the one or two things that you can think of?
Yeah, I am just so surprised and just so enamored with the individuals that are part of this community. Like everyone is such a good person, so generous, so helpful. The firm owners are so well intentioned. They love their team. They care about their clients. Like I feel their heart. I feel that, we're talking about humans in accounting. I feel their humanity. And I love that. I love working with individuals that care about other people. I care about other people as well, and it just makes like a good energetic match. And the depth and history of the accounting profession and the accounting community is also mind-blowing to me. I've loved seeing people just see each other, run into each other at these conferences, and just like be so elated that they're finally, that they're seeing each other, and going to these conferences, and just the level of connection and the level of genuine helpfulness. Firm owners are willing to share their insights. Hey, this is what worked for me. Tell me what's worked for you. That a lot of folks are just very, very open. And I love that, which is interesting coming from coffee. There were some aspects of coffee that were very, very closed. Even though fundamentally, coffee roasting, coffee production is the same. You roast it, you
Mhm.
brew it, you ship it, etc. And there felt like a closed energy around the community, if I could call it one. But here it's so open. That just lights me up.
In my case, I want to tell you, man, I've been working all my life. I'm kind of new to the accounting industry. Been a little bit more than 2 years now, but all my life I've been working in IT and yeah, software development. I used to work also with the companies that were giving solutions of IT or software development, maybe to different industries. So I work with many industries, and I I agree with everything you said. And I don't know, is it just like that we know the same 100 or 200 or 1,000 accounting firm owners that are super cool and that has to have this great a community, or maybe the rest that we don't know, they are not like this? If everyone in the accounting industry is like this, why? Maybe you don't have this answer, I don't have this answer. What why is this happening? Well, why this does happen in the accounting industry? I don't know. That's the first thing that caught my attention. Exactly what you said. Like, they're super open of saying, talking to another firm owner that maybe I would consider in another industry a competitor, a direct competitor. They'll say, no, you know what? This software is great. Remember just to, or let me introduce you to this person. I'm sure they're going to be able to help you out. So I don't know. I'm also amazed with that. And it's something that I have identified too.
Love it.
Okay, that's cool. I'm surprised with that answer. Let me ask you. I'm gonna change the subjects and then let's go back to this. But this is my podcast. I'm passionate about a few things, and one of those is eating good food. I guess that's the way to to say it in English, or maybe there's a better way. But let me ask you this direct question, Chase. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food number one are onigiri, which come out of Japan. They're these little, almost these rice balls that you can get at a convenience store in Japan, and they're triangle shaped and they're filled. They have a filling, which is sometimes tuna, salmon, or even beans, and they come wrapped in seaweed. So you open them and you have this almost rice ball sandwich that's ready to go. It's a very convenient food. It's super delicious.
Is it like a big piece of sushi?
I wouldn't quite say that, because the tuna or the salmon or whatnot's in the middle tends to be shredded as opposed to like a whole piece. And
Okay.
it's about maybe this big. And for folks that can't see, I'm holding my hand up in a triangle shape. This is more of like maybe 4 or 5, 6 inches across and 4, 5, 6 inches up.
Okay. You know what? I've never been to Asia. I want to say. Oh no, I've been, but yeah, I never been to China, or I never been to Japan. That's definitely on my bucket list. Have you ever been, Chase, here to Argentina?
No, not Argentina yet. My partner did a 6 month stay down there for like an exchange student, but I haven't been myself.
All right, all right. I already told you this outside of this podcast, but I'll tell you again. If you guys ever, or if you want to come, I'll be more than happy just to show you around. I'm always welcoming people from outside. I love just to share the Argentinian experience.
Yeah, I got to make
So
it in there
that's
sometime. It sounds really fun.
yeah, yeah. Perfect. Let's go back to human at scale. I'm curious. Do you have, like, while working with the accounting with the accounting industry. Do you find, I don't know, a typical mistake or pattern that you have identified with accounting firms while they're trying just to scale? Something that it's typical.
Sure. What I see when firms come to work with us, they typically want more revenue growth and or they want a lot of the CEO time back. Where's the CEO time going right now? It is stuck in personally managing clients, managing the team, a lot of administration or overhead, like billing, invoicing. They're stuck in the weeds. Even if they have a operations manager or a firm administrator, they haven't quite figured out how to get leverage to help
Right.
them stay focused on vision, strategy, growth, new opportunities, things like that. So what I usually see that is missing, like the explanation for why this occurs, is I see a lot of missing visibility. And so from a visibility standpoint, it is having clean data for the firm itself, having clean performance data, whether it's financial performance, operational performance. How do we know we're doing a good job within the firm? Having the dashboard
Right.
set up. It's having a good meeting structure. Meetings are productive, they're on time, they're structured, and they're efficient and they evolve over time. A lot of times meetings can be, hey, we're having great conversations, but we're not moving forward. We're not making decisions as a team to move the firm forward. I see it as strong team accountability and having buy-in from the team towards change. I see it as having the clear SOPs, processes, templates, workflows, and automations set up that allow work to be efficient and effective. And then also clarity of roles, your client mix, the services that you provide, and who does what is a big missing piece. That actually helps the accountability and the buy-in piece. And then the last is just you have your tech stack, you have your practice management tool, whatever it is. Are we effectively using it? Have we actually codified the way that we work as a firm in using these tools so that we can be more effective and more efficient internally and be more effective to our clients? So those are the things I typically see if firm owners want to get out of the weeds and focus more on growth. And that's typically what I see with the firms we work with.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely something that happens. That happens also here. I must be honest, at South offices, and again, that's why I'm sure that that also happens in a restaurant, or it happens in a retail, or it happens everywhere. So that's why I asked you about that first question about the industry. Okay, that's super cool. As far as plans for the future and human at scale. You're also growing. Where are you going? How do you see with AI and with everything that's going on? How do you see plans? Yeah, for the next couple of years. What are the plans?
Yeah, so we will continue to grow, serve more firms. And I really see our work as we are operational scaling partners for firms. So one way to look at us is like, hey, we'll come in, we'll do a project, and then we'll leave, we'll hand over the keys. But we're really, really good at operating and running companies. And that's really our brand that we're putting out there. So I see us working with a large number of firms, helping them to grow and scale their businesses continuously, always having access to the right operational resources, technologies to keep things ongoing and updated and live. I see a lot of attempts where either an SOP or even a company vision or goals, things get written once, they get put in a deck, they get shared with the team, and then that's where it stays.
Exactly.
And what we want to bring is an aliveness and continuous improvement nature to accounting firms to help them continuously experiment, grow, learn from mistakes, and be able to ultimately break revenue ceilings and be able to scale. So we see ourselves supporting transactions as well. So if you're a firm that has done a merger or you are acquiring, and we are a supportive team that can help with integrating two or more firms together from a technology and data standpoint, but also a change management standpoint and a cultural standpoint. Because it's not easy. It's not easy for folks that are along with the ride of the firm owner, either selling or buying a firm. All of a sudden, we have all these new individuals that We need to know, integrate, friend, and work with. How is all that going to work? It takes time to do it. We are an integration partner that can help do that. So that's where we're going in the future.
That's great. You reminded me. I don't know if you know. I recorded this episode with Tracy last week. She had so many things, so many good things to tell. She talked really highly about you and your team at Human at Scale, that you're helping out a lot. So, many of the things that you were just saying, she said that well, you were helping her out. So that is great. Something
And
that
Lee, I'm just so impressed by Tracy and the Building Profits team. They are executing so strongly right now, and I'm really seeing everyone on the team stretch and grow and achieve the vision. I get the privilege of watching it happen in real time, but they're doing so much and they're doing so well.
when do you think again, the audience here at Humans in Accounting, it's mainly accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, people from humans that are happen to be in accounting. When do you feel it's like a good timing for them, when they're seeing what think specifically to say, "Hey, I need help," because I feel that everyone will feel identified with those symptoms that you've said. But is there anything specific that you say, "All right, there's something that you have to do or change in order just to be able to scale faster?"
Yeah. So I call these breaking points where it's like, okay, if your firm is experiencing one of these things, like
Right,
reach out to us. We can help you. Everyone's deadline driven and there's always a scramble around deadlines. And as you are executing, whether that's, 1099s or you're closing the books or you are executing around tax season, you're going to have ideas for how to improve the firm, but zero time to do it. We
right,
can't change anything right now because right now the work is the most important. We can be supportive to that. There also might be either a staffing shock or a capacity cliff, meaning that the firm owner themselves needs to step away for one reason or another. They're going to have a kid, they want to take vacation. It could be a number of things, or they have some of their key team members leave the organization,
right,
whether that is voluntary or involuntary. Also, if you as a firm owner are stuck at a revenue plateau, maybe you don't have visibility or standards set up to be able to get yourself out of being the bottleneck. We can support with that. If you just feel, and some folks come to us just feel, hey, I'm stuck in the weeds. I'm so busy. I'm working 7 to 80 hours. So I've tried handing things off to the team. Some of it's work, some of it's not, but we're sort of chaotic and a mess. That's a great one. And then last would be, you have practice management, you have the tech stack and the tools, but you can adopt it better. Like you know that you haven't really as a firm committed to this, whether that's an adoption or a training issue or just like defining like how do we work inside these tools. These are all great reasons to reach out that we can support and solve.
okay. And let me ask you this: if they feel, I'm sure there are many people watching this in the future who are identified with everything you just said, and they're probably gonna reach out to you, Chase, and say, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" How do you work? Like, you mentioned this before, but is it like you started and you work for 3 months, you work for the following 10 years with them, you put this? How does that work? Do you have deliverables that you say, "All right, this is what we'll be doing in this specific period of time," and then you continue by yourself?
Yeah. So when firms come to us, we'll do an operations audit. It's a full diagnostic of your firm. We review financials, your practice management. We interview everyone on your team, and we give you a report around, here are the bottlenecks and operational issues that we saw. Here's how to solve them, and then here's a mini project plan on how exactly to solve them. And then at that moment, if you want us to come in and solve them, we'll start talking about what that engagement could look like. Usually they can be as little as 6 months, sometimes multiple years, depending on how they view us and like our role. We like to continuously add value over time.
Right.
However, some firms want to bring more of this in-house. It's totally okay. We will set them up to be able to do that. So whether you are training an internal firm administrator or an operations person or a COO to eventually come in, or maybe have that person, they want to come in, they want to operate the system that we build, we hand over the keys. So you can fire us with a lot of confidence because we are building your systems. You're not running on our platform. These are your systems, not ours.
Right, right, right. And it's that they'll be depending on you for the future if you do that. So
And some firms want to. Some firms want to depend on us and see us as that, as I mentioned, these long term operational scaling partners. Some do and some don't. And it's okay either way.
right, right, right. Okay, okay, that's perfect. Talking about adding value, this is something that I want to mention because you're here in the humans in accounting. Us at South offices, we constantly try just to add value. Last year, we added some benefits for all the people that we hire for our accounting firms. And recently, last week, we launched our partner program. This is since we mainly work with accounting firms, we reached out to vendors that we like, that we trust, that we've been heard really good things. And one of those vendors is Human at Scale. So if you are uh, a client of South offices, you'll be able to have discounts directly with you. And if you are not a client of South offices and you're watching this in the future, whether it's 2027 or by the end of 2026 or 2030, I'm sure that you're going to keep on doing this. You can reach Chase, and I'm sure that he'll be able just to help you out a lot. What's the best way just to reach out for all these listeners and the people in the future watching this episode of Humans in Accounting? What's the best way to reach out to you, Chase?
Yeah, for us right now, you can go to the Human at Scale website. And that's human@scale.com and book a discovery call with us. We will, within a single call, be able to identify the biggest leverage roadblock that you're having and then start giving you solutions for that. So you can book that directly with me. And then for those that want an even deeper dive to start talking about solving more issues within the firm, I mentioned that operations audit. If you are part of the South Offices network, then you get a discount on this too. Again, as mentioned, we review financials, practice management, all your processes, interview your team, and share with you an operational roadmap on how you can achieve your goals. And most of those goals are, hey, I want to grow the firm. I want to take on more clients. I want to get at a client delivery. How do I go about doing that? What has to be true inside the firm for me to be able to do that? So we deliver that to your firm custom.
What happens now? Now you sold me. What happens if in the future? I know you work strictly with accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, financial services. But what about if a company that's doing nearshore or staffing that works mainly with accounting firms? And if they reach out to you and tell you, Chase, can you help me out? I'm having one of these issues. Will that be a client that you would accept? Curious.
I'd happily have a conversation and talk about it. We're not accepting any non-accounting, non-tax, non-financial services firms at the moment, but I'll absolutely talk because you're right. Some of these things are agnostic. They're more relevant to business than they are to accounting specifically, even though we're highly tailored and custom to accounting, tax, and finance. But, Alex, always happy to have a conversation just to chat.
I know. I was just teasing you, but again, just because I feel this is something that applies just to other industries as well. That's important, but I also think at the same time that it's the smart move. It's a smart from a business perspective just to say no and say no. Sometimes it's hard, but in the long term, I think it's a smart decision.
And it is
Mm.
relevant to, just on that point, it is relevant to so many businesses out there, especially small and medium sized businesses where the CEO, the founders like get involved. They want to serve in humanity. They want to help people. They want to build a great team, a great business. And somewhere along the way, they've gotten stuck. Somewhere the habits and behaviors they had early in the business, they've really had to execute, take full responsibility for everything. Once you have a team, those same behaviors don't scale because it's more, those behaviors are about you. as opposed to about the business and the team that you've built. And it's hard to unwind these things. It's hard to let go. It's hard to delegate. It's hard to change these habits. And it's hard to look at something and invest in something as like, oh, I don't really know what the ROI of this is in the short term. I just want to make more revenue. I want to get my time back. But the idea is that it's a long-term play because you want to be in business for a long time. I mean, you want to build something truly great that lasts. It's an investment in the infrastructure that is required to be able to grow. Otherwise, it's growing with chaos. It's growing where you're the bottleneck. It's growing where the team and the clients and everyone still comes to you for everything. And so you're busy and you're tired. And if you're at that point, you can undo it by building out this operational infrastructure I described. We can help you change your habits and behavior around, again, letting go and delegating, teaching people, being the instead of the chief doer, you are the chief leader. And it's a huge shift for people. But once it's unlocked, once you have it, once you see it and experience it, you can't go back. It totally radically transforms the way that you operate and gives you the peace that you're looking for. And so many other business owners need this, even outside accounting, tax, and finance. But we are exclusively working with accounting, tax, and finance to give this opportunity and give these benefits to all the great firm owners out there.
That's great. On that note, just one last thing that I saw probably in a podcast you made on that exact note. You mentioned, and I'm going to quote you, probably not in the best way, but I'll quote the idea that you said better, and that it's better when you're growing with growth. It's better being growing with not the I don't know, not the best way, rather than having like everything super tidy and perfect and everything works
Yeah.
smoothly, but you're not growing at all. You don't have a business. So, well, if you are growing and you're experiencing all these things that you just mentioned, I mean, there's a way just to. Luckily, we're talking here with Chase, who can probably help you out with all this. So, yeah, people in the future watching this, I'm sure they'll be reaching out. Chase, it was super great having you here at Humans in Accounting. Hope to see you now in a few months because we're starting now April. Then it's the World Cup. As an Argentinian, I'm super looking forward. A few more months, and it's already Intuit Connect. Probably I'll see you there. It was super nice having you. Thank you so much for being part of Humans in Accounting.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex, for the time and for bringing me on. And let's do it again. And I can't wait to see you in person next time we do.
Absolutely. Have a good one.